La Yashala, which means to Israel. Imagine, which means to stand. All right. Excuse me, it's a lot. So once again, imagine, which means to stand in Hebrew. Imad is stand. Imajim is everyone stands. Wapan Yahakodam, which means to face the east. All right. Wherever you are in the world, if you have an east, you want to face that way. All right. In the scriptures, it says, anytime that we pray to the Lord or say or bring up prayers, we always have to face the east, according to the scriptures. All right. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Adonai, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shukah, Yahweh, Malakbata, Taba'a, Rapzaka, Haya, Aisha, Barakizah, Kawad, Haya, Bashemayim, Dalana, Kam, Kal, Yavum, Basalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Wala'a, Taba'anawa, Banasaya woman, Abal, Habashai, Slat, Habashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wata, Parat, La, Lamyu, Aman. The Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever, so be it. Amen. Hakak, the power in the evil. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Baba Kasha, the Thalanawa, Kak, the Kak, La Pa'a, Karbakala. Wakar Manawa, Hakak, La Tahar, Hamatazari, Hakak, La Hakim, Hamaki, Hakak, Arakawat, Hazma'ala, La Darshan, Bashimi Awashah, the Wada Aman, the power in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, the power to raise the dead, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you, so be it. Bless Israel. In the Hebrew, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Barak Manawa, Vayasha'ala, Wahabayat, Sapari, Barak, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Wa'ala Aman. In the English, what we just said was, Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us in Yasha'ala, in the school. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'a, Ayanya, Ahari, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Azariah, Ma'an, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemaya, Warakisa, Ayathan, Lumawats, Rakofa, Ayanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tizarka, Ayat, Emnaka, Yawamam, Hashamas, Ayakakat, Wayarak, Walayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Mahora, Yashamar, Ahtapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Sata Wabawaka, Mayatha, Ba'ai, Awalam. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up my eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help coming from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee without slumber, behold, he that keepeth Yasha'ala shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Nabi Al-Akad, Al-Karash, Al-Tashakwa, Al-Kayahana, Al-Wakika, Yahamayawan, Ra'ash, Al-Amaka, Yarayama, Sabbath, Wayataya Tazawa, Al-Tazapawanyaka, Amaru, Lakawa, Nakakidam, Magoya, Wala Ayasakar, Shamya Sha'ala, Iwada, Kaya, Nawa Tazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Alika, Barayat, Yakaraku, Ahoya, Adamum, Vaya Shema Aliyan, Mawa Abu, Garden, Kabal, by Mawan, by Malak, Alashat, Aymishat, Tazabur, from Ashur, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zara, Nabanya Lawat, Salah, Ashalahum, Kamatmi, Kasaya Sara'a, Hiyabni, Banako, Kuyashwan, Nashamatwa, Bayanda Ara, Hayawa, Dama, La Adama, Shayatama, Nada, Ya Mawa, Kaira, Wakazabat, Wakazazova, Karnasia Kamba, Ashar, Amaru, Narashat, Lanawa, As, Naawas, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shathamba, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapani Ravaka, Kaash, Tabaria Iron, Wakalaba, Talahat, Hari, Kandar Dakma, Basaraka, Wabasa Wapaka, Talaham, Mala'a, Panyaham, Falaman, Vayabakwashwa, Shaka, Yahawah, Yabashwa, Vayabahova, Ayai, Vayakapara, Vaya Abadna, Vaya Daima, Kaya Atha, Shaka, Yahawah, Labaka, Al Yawan, Al Kaharataza. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off of being a nation, that the name of Yahshua Allah may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Israelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the habits of the Tyre. The shore also joy with them. They have hope in the children of Lot Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as the Sisera, as the Jabin, as the brook of Kisan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth, make their nobles like Farid, and like Zeb, yea, are the princes as Abba and as Amunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flames set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that they may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. ISUPK power structures. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. To evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. To evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter thy sanctuary. To evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments are our enemies. Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Positive Comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us. Brace with destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, but try to stop us to broadcast your words throughout the planet Earth. Let lose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael, and Gabriel come down with flying saucers, punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause this to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always, so be it. All right, star, which means to turn. Put this back down there. All right. So like y'all bear with me for a second. Still dealing with a little sickness. All right, Yeshavim, which means to be seated in Hebrew. All right, first things first, I do want to say Shalom. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Barak Thom to the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shamar. Allah Bashim Yahweh Shai to the sisters. All right. ISUPK Minnesota with the Sabbath service. And as you may know, tomorrow is the closing of the feast of unleavened bread. All right. The feast of unleavened bread, of course, was for 7 days, and tomorrow will be that 7th day. Okay. And hopefully, Lord allow, I'm sure I would hope that everybody is, coming out very strong as far as this feast, not eating anything that has leavening in it. Leavening is simply a product, or food chemical in your food that allows the things that rise. So, for example, right, bread. If you have bread, of course, most breads in the grocery stores are going to have baking soda or baking powder in it to where it rises, where it's fluffy. Okay. If it's not fluffy and it's flat, then that means it has no leavening in it. All right. Almost everything that everyone consumes every single day has leavening in it. Anything as far as when it comes to any type of pastries, a lot of chips, a lot of bread, a lot of cereals. The list just really goes on. All right, your pizza, just a lot of things. Also, too, a lot of the chicken spots that you go to, a lot of the breading has, dough that has risen. Now, of course, if this was your first, first Passover, Most High in Christ, your first feast of unleavened bread, congratulations. And I hope everything goes well up until tomorrow, right? Now, tomorrow night, when we do the closing, that's when you break that fast and you can start to eat any and all things that have leavening in it, all right? But first, you have to recognize that it has to be at sundown, okay? If you need any more clarification about that, what you want to do is you want to contact your camp leader, all right? That camp leader or that captain that is in your city. If you have any more, if you want more information about that. All right, but otherwise, let's go ahead and get straight to it. We ain't gonna be all day. We are gonna get straight to the point. We are in the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verses 31, all the way to chapter 23, verse 12. Okay. As you know, we read 7 precepts at a time. But altogether, each Sabbath service is going to be 49 scriptures. All right. And if anybody has any questions or concerns that's off topic, that is absolutely fine. I have no problem or issue answer any questions. What you can do is type it into the chat, and I'll get straight to it. Otherwise, if you have not liked, subscribe, comment, share. If you believe that there's somebody that needs to learn and know this language, which is our original language for those that are so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, this is the true culture. This is very ancient as far as what we are doing today. As far as learning the language, there was a time in our records where the woman would be responsible to teach the children, specifically the young men, the young boys, the ancient Hebrew. Now, once they got to a certain age, maybe 5 or 8 and older, they will come up and sit in this seat with the rest of the priests. And one by one, those children will come up, those young boys, young men will come up and show the people what they have learned as far as the Hebrew. So they would read some precepts or read some scriptures in Hebrew. And then, based on the captivity that we was in, we'll read it, we'll translate it in that language based on whatever captivity that we were in. Now, in today's time, we are doing the same thing. Nothing has changed much. All right. There's nothing new under the sun. Now, what I can tell you is that we are still in captivity. We are under, this American empire. All right. Which is, spiritually Babylon. And the language that we speak is English, okay? But the true language is ancient Hebrew. So I'm going to read in the Hebrew, and then I'm going to translate what I just read in the Hebrew into the English, okay? Once again, if anybody got any questions or concerns, you know what to do. You can type in your questions in the chat at any given time, all right? And I'll get to it when I can. Let me see here. All right, let me see. All right. Let me just check one more thing. Y'all bear with me here. Okay. All right, Most High Christ. All right, officer, so I'm going to break down this entire chapter as well, just to let everybody know, what this was about. If you missed the last couple of weeks of Sabbath service, that's fine. I'll get you up to speed, all right? All right. This is Exodus chapter 21, verse 31. Awa, Ban, Yagak, Awa, Bath, Yagak, Bamashapat, Hazah, Yasha, Lawa, verse 32. Ibad, Yagak, Hashawar, Awa, Ama, Kasap, Shalashim. Slap, give me 1 second. Yes, I thought. All right, Shaqualium, Yathan, Slaki, La Dunya, Wahashawar, Yasakor, verse 33. Wakaya, Yapathak, Ayash, Bawar, Awa, Kaya, Yakara, Ayash, Bar, Wala'a, Yakasanwa, Salakia, Wanapal, Shema, Shawar, Awa, Kamawar, verse 34. Baal, Habawar, Yashalam, Kasap, Yashaya, what? Yashaya, Labayawa, Wahamath, Yahaya, Lawat, verse 35. Wakaya, Yagap, Shawar, Ayash, Af, Shawar, Ra'aiwa, Wamath, Wamakarwa, Af, Hashawar, Hakaya, Slakia, Wakatazawa, Af, Kasapwa, Wagum, Af, Hamath, Yakatazawan, verse 36. Awa, Slakia, wait, no, Slakia. Nawadai, Kaya, Shawar, Nagak, Hawa'a, Mathamawa, Shalashim, Shalasham. Wala'a. Yashamar. Hold on. Yashamar. Nawat. Ba'al. Shalom. Yashalom. Shawar. Thakat. Hashawar. Wahamath. Yahaya. Lawa. All right. Let me see. Exodus chapter 22, verse 1. This is the last verse. All right. Kaya. Yaganab. Ayash. Shawar. Awa. Shah. Watapakwa. Waya. So like Awa. Makarwa. Kamash. So like, no. Kamasha. Bakwar. Yashalom. Thakat. Hawashar. So like Hashawar. So like Wa'arabai. Taza'an. Thakat. Hasha. And that's it on that part. Stop it up. All right. All right, so like it, all right, let's go ahead and keep it going. All right, so that was 70 verses into the Hebrew. So like it, Exodus chapter 21, verse 31, all the way to Exodus chapter 22, verse 1. All right, 7 verses. So let's go ahead and get into it, okay? And also, too, if I was you, anybody that's watching, I would advise for you to really pay attention to this class, because this is a story of many scenarios when it comes to accountability, offenses, responsibility, and restitution. All right. There's a few more words that I can throw into there, but eventually I'm gonna, it's gonna come out. All right. I'm gonna speak on it. All right. So let's see here. All right. Let's get to it. So this is Exodus chapter 21, verse 31. And before I get into this, this entire chapter, it kind of what it goes into is laws regarding offenses, and then the next chapter is going to speak about other offenses. So there's going to be a long list of different type of scenarios of how someone can be offended, and an offense is a crime, and a crime is a sin. Okay. All right, because like when we read into the scriptures, and it says that if you offended, even one of these laws, you will have offended them all. Meaning, if you have broken anything, so it's like when you violate your probation, okay? When you make an offense, you have broken the law. You have violated the law, okay? Because the law says you have to do this and do that. But if you go against it, there is a offense. All right, there's something that you have to pay for. Like many of the laws that we have to abide by today, and as far as in the earth, it's no different than the Bible. As far as the standard, you should not unalive, you should not bear false witness, you should not covet, which means to steal or take away from someone that is not yours. There are so many laws and things that are in place today that come from our own records, judges, counsel, executive orders, decisions, so on and so forth. The list goes on, but you get the point, all right? So this chapter specifically is going to be about offenses, laws regarding offenses, and how you can, how this can all be worked out. All right. So let's go back to Exodus chapter 21, verse 31. And let me see. Actually, let me go up just a little bit. Let's go to verse. Let's go to verse 28. If an ox gore a man or a woman, then I believe gore means to like strike. Let me see. I believe yes. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. Verse 28. If an ox gore a man or a woman, that they die. So meaning if an ox, which is an animal, if they unalive a man or a woman, because ox, have those damn horns and they are very sharp and they can definitely poke through you. All right. So if an ox gore a man or a woman that they die, then the ox shall be surely stoned, meaning unalive, be killed, brought down, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be quit. And so let me see what that means, because I think I know what it means, but let me see here. Okay. So yeah. So when it says, but the owner of the ox shall be quit, meaning that the owner of the ox shall be quit, meaning that, he should move around, okay, so to speak. Verse 29. But if the ox were wont to push with his horn in time past, and have been testified to his owner, and he have not kept him in, but that he have killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner also shall be put to death. So let me read this closely again. But if the ox were wont to push with his horn in time past, and have been testified to his owner, and have not kept him in. So let me see. Give me a second here, because it's just the verbiage is a little weird to me. Let me see. Salaki, y'all bear with me real quick. I want to say I know exactly what it's saying, because given a different scenario about if something were to happen. Right, exactly. Okay. Yeah. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna read this one more time. But if the ox were not, if the ox were wont to push with his horn in time past, meaning if this ox has a history of, attacking people, causing bloodshed, right? And have been testified to his owner, and he have not kept him in, meaning his owner knows the history of this animal, of his own animal, and he has not, controlled this animal, that ox is going to be stoned to death, and so is the owner as well, because it's called negligence, right? It's called not being responsible of your property. And as an owner, if you have animals, you have to watch over them, just like you got to watch over, young ones that have, no self-awareness. Animals can't just thrive by themselves. They need an owner. They need someone to direct them, to feed them, all right, to shelter them. And, how many times do we hear in America today, or just all over the world, that, so-and-so has been attacked by a dog. And now this owner gotta go to court, gotta pay for the damages of this person. Maybe they lost their life. Maybe they, got stitched up. Now they gotta pay for hospital bills, or maybe they gotta just, pay a great sum of money to, the person that was affected by their animal. All right. So this is that type of case. All right. So once again, if somebody is not taking care of their animal, and this being a case of an ox, and the owner knows the history of this ox, and he does not control the situation of this animal, that owner and the ox are both going to be stoned. And that's that. All right. All right. Verse 30. If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him. So I just spoke about this, right? So if a situation like this happens, that person is owed money. or that family is owed money because of what just happened. This animal is unaliving people or is causing harm to people. All right. So something is going to have to be resolved to where this situation is fixed. All right. One thing about the Lord, and what's so amazing about the book of Exodus with Moses, is that he's giving you practicality. He's giving you civility. He's being civil when it comes to the people, because things like this happen all the time. It's no different today, and it's not going to be it was no different than, beforehand. All right, back in the time of Moses. There's no different today whatsoever. You have farmers, you have neighbors, animals get out of control, situations happen. All right, and we are going to get into more in-depth situations that are going to has already happened and will continue possibly to happen. Okay, let's keep going. Verse 31, whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter, according to this judgment shall it be done unto him. So meaning this, so if this thing does happen, whether it happens to a son or a daughter, or happens in general to anybody, that sum of money is going to have to, you are going to have to come up off of that money. That money is going to have to be given to that person that was affected for their life. All right. And also too, in today's times, you will see once again, you will see court documents about that, or articles and stories about how, this owner has to owe this family money because of what their animal did to them or their family. Okay. All right. So, verse 32, if the ox shall push a manservant or a maidservant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. Once again, more money. Talking about money. Now, an ox pushing somebody is goring. Goring is simply, attacking them violently or unaliving them violently as well. It's the same thing. Okay. Verse 33. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit and not cover it, and an ox or an ass shall fall, and an ox or an ass fall therein, verse 34, the owner of the pit shall make it good and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. Now, if you open up a pit, if you open a pit or dig a pit, and your ox or your ass, which is a donkey, falls into that pit and gets stuck, and they die or they hurt themselves, because a lot of injuries as far as animals on the land, as far as the farmland happens, is when people kind of like dig up stuff, they don't properly till the land, all types of stuff, right? Like for example, construction workers, they have to dig weird areas of the ground and have to fill it and do this and do that, right? They have to construct the place. Now on the farmland, if you don't properly dig a hole and cover it and have ownership over that, somebody can trip and fall in, hurt themselves, die, so on and so forth. And the same thing happens with animals all the time. All right. There are so many stories about when you are on the farm and people talk about, damn, my animal just got stuck in the ditch or something like that, and they can't get out on their own because it's too deep. All right. And so you either got to do one or two things. If they're not dead, you got to drag them out by a rope or with some type of device to drag them out. And if they're too badly injured and they are no use to you, most likely 9 times out of 10, you may gotta put them down. Okay, and that's real life. All right. So let's keep it going. But however, if that does happen, the owner has to give money, all right, to the owner of them that were affected by that pit being open and not closed up. Verse 34. Oh no, I'm sorry. Verse 35. And if one man's ox hurt another's, that he died, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money of it. And the dead ox also they shall divide. So if your ox, if this brother's ox kills this brother's ox, money is going to have to come to the table, and it's going to have to be divided, and that's fair. You want to know why that's fair? Because it's okay. It's justice, and it kills the spirit of hatred. Because some people would rather, well, it's not my fault, I didn't do it, but it is your fault. It is your responsibility because that's your animal, and you are supposed to be in control of your animal. All right? If you have ownership of anything, you are responsible. If you are, if you are responsible for someone's life, whatever they do is on you. And that's just the reality of it. In some way, some fashion, you will be affected. You will be blamed. And you just got to take it to the chin and move on and do better. And that's that. Okay? Verse 36. Or if it be known that the ox have used to push in time past, and his owner have not kept him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own. That's self-explanatory. I just mentioned that as well. Let's keep going. Exodus chapter 22, verse 1. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. So this is extra, not even double, extra, triple. Okay, 4 times. All right. So 5 times. 5 oxen and 4 sheep. This is extra. All right. So if you unalive somebody else's animal, ox, or kill their sheep or steal it, you have to give them that back 5 to 4 times. You got to give them more than what they had. All right. And that's fair. You want to know why? And it's pretty much it's interest. All right. And that's what happens right now. Anytime you go to prison for, stealing, robbery, stuff like that, they definitely tax you. Not only do you got to pay back what you stole, but there's interest on top of it as well. There's interest. All right, you got to get back more, and that's the law. And where do you think they got that from? From the Bible. Okay. All right. So that's it on that. Let's get back to it. The 7 scriptures. All right. Let's get it real quick. All right. Let's go ahead and get Exodus chapter 22, verse 2. All right. Here we go. Bamakatharath. Yamatazah. Haganah. Wahaka. Wamath. Ayan. Lawa. Damayam. Salaki. Y'all bear with me. Just give me 1 second. Hold on. Salaki. All right, y'all. Salaki. All right, let me get back to it. Salaki, that's it on that. Verse 3. Zarakah. Yeah, Zarakah. Hashamash. Audua. Damayam. Yeah. Lawa. Shalom. Yashalom. Ayan. Lawa. What number car? So like, give me 1 second. Baga Nabathwa. Verse 4. Hamataza'a. Tamataza. Bayatwa. Haga Haga Naba. Mashawar. I. Kamawar. I. Sha. Kayan. Shania. Shania. Oh yeah, okay. Yashalom. Verse 5. Kaya. Yabar. Ayash. Shada. Iwa. Karam. Washalak. Ah. Ba'ira. Ba'ira. Wabar. Bashada. Akar. Mayata. Shadawa. Wamata. Salakia. Karamwa. Yashalam. Verse 6. Kaya. Tataza. Ash. Wamataza. Kwatazam. Wanna call. Gariash. Iwa. Hakwama. Awa. Hashda. Shalom. Ya shalom. Hamabar. Ath. Habira. There we go. Verse 7. Let me see. Verse 7. Kaya. Yathan. Ayash. Al. Ra'iwa. Kasa. Iwa. Kalyam. Lashamar. Wakana. Mabayah. Hayash. Yamataza. Hakana. Yashalom. Shanayim. Verse 8, last verse. La'a. Yamataza. Hanaka. That's like Hakana. Wanakara. Ba'al. Habayam. That's like Habayath. Al. Ha'alahayim. Ath. La'a. Shalah. It's like Shalak. Yahweh. Bamalakwa. It's like Bamalakath. Bamalakath. Ra'iwa. And that's it on that. Slap it up. All right. All right. Let's get back to it. Once again, we are not going to be all day, too long-winded. Let's get straight to the point. All right. All right, this is Exodus chapter 22, verse 2. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. That is justice. All right. It's unfortunate, but that is justice. Okay. So once again, if a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no bloodshed be shed for him. Because if a thief breaks into your house and they are trying to take your belongings, your values, and you are defending those values and your life and those that are in your household, and they lose their life behind it, there's no bloodshed upon your head. Because what you are doing is what everyone should do, is protect your household, protect your valuables. Now, there are some cases where if they got the upper hand, it's not worth losing your life. But however, a thief doesn't always get far. A thief always meets their end. You know what I mean? It may not be you that's going to, take their life. And maybe you want to show them mercy. Maybe you don't want to take their life. But if it came to it, maybe it's not in your hands to put justice into your hands at that time. Maybe justice would be, in someone else's hands for your sake. The Most High may, take care of that thief for what they did. Okay? Especially if you are serving the Lord, if somebody steals from you, I mean, they should be absolutely afraid to do anything, to make any type of offense against you, especially if you serve the Lord. All right? And when I say serve the Lord, meaning that you live by this book. You live behind the laws, the statutes, and commandments without fail. All right? And you do everything in your power to remain diligent and obedient to these, to the things that the Lord has commanded us to do throughout our lives, right? But I would be very afraid to commit any type of offense against one of the Most High soldiers, because it's not going to end well. Does it end well? There are so many stories in the Bible where people have done something towards the Lord's people, and it just doesn't end so well for them. Even children. I mean, that amazing story. I mean, good night. I mean, when I first saw this story, I was like, what in the hell am I reading? There's a story in the Bible, man. I want to say it's definitely in the Old Testament. I forget if it's in maybe Chronicles or King or the Book of Kings, one of them, where there were children making fun of the prophet Elijah because this brother had no hair. He was bald, right? And he was at camp speaking. And he was, and these children were making fun of, these brothers at camp. Especially Elijah, the brother had no hair. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. And as these children went into the woods, there were bears that came out, and these bears had unalived these children. And you would think, like, why would the Lord allow that to happen? It's so cruel. I mean, hey, if I was you, I would read that story. I would read that story and get some understanding why it happened. But more of the story is, you don't want to mess with the Most High's, prophets and priests. You don't want to mess with the Lord's children that serve him and that, are obedient to him. And I pray you understand. Anytime someone tries to come up against the ISUPK, they get destroyed. And it shows time and time and time again. And it shows that we are undefeated and the Lord is with us. All right, moving on. Verse 3, if the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him. For he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. So, if the sun shall be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he shall make full restitution. So meaning this, if that thief is alive, he should give back everything that he stole. Restitution, he should fix the thing that is lost. Now, if he has nothing, if it's all gone, all the money is soaked up, all the valuables are sold and is soaked up, then he should put himself up for restitution. All right, meaning this. Then he shall be sold for his theft. Okay? He shall be sold. He shall be in prison. He shall have some type of punishment for the things that were lost. All right, the things that were stolen. Verse 4. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double. So if he is found and caught with the things that were stolen, he should give double of what he stole. And that's the right thing to do. That's the only thing you can do to fix that situation. All right. Verse 5. If a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field of the beasts, of the best of his own field, and of the best of his own vineyard, shall he make restitution. So if a man shall cause a field or a vineyard to be eaten, shall put it in his beast, meaning this. If an owner of an animal decides to feed their beast, their animal, from someone else's field or vineyard, restitution has to come about. You have to repay that owner for what they lost. It took them hell to grow that field and that vineyard. It's not easy, especially depending on where you live and you are a husbandman or you do husbandry, which means farming, right? It's not always easy to grow the crops, right? Because one thing is this: you got to make sure that soil is not dead. You got to till the land. You got to fertilize it. You have so much things you have to do in order to make sure that that land thrives, that field, that dirt, that ground thrives all season long. All right. And when I say all season, like all the seasons. All right, all year long. All year long, you have to make sure it thrives. And somebody comes to your field or vineyard and feed their animals off of yours without your permission, restitution has to come about. Verse 6, if fire break out and catch in thorns, so that the stacks of corn or the standing corn or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution. So if somebody lights something and it spreads to the point where it destroys that field or that vineyard of your crops and your harvest, you have to pay restitution. It's only right. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. I mean, how many stories are there where, you may plant something or destroy something, burn something, and it catches on to the next person's property? You have to pay restitution some way, somehow. And it's not always about money, but sometimes it definitely is. But if you damage someone else's property some way, somehow, even if you live in a community and you have a next door neighbor and their property is damaged by you some way, somehow, you got to have some type of restitution. You got to work it out. Fix that issue. Otherwise, a judge is going to do it for you. Verse 7, if a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. So if you are, let's say that you go out and about, you go out of town and you leave your money or valuables in the hands of somebody else, and a thief breaks into their house, and that thief be found, they have to pay double of what they stole. Now, another scenario, verse 8, if the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he have put his hand unto his neighbor's goods. So now it gets a little sticky. So if the thief be not found, and the person that you gave your valuables to, you and that person are going to have to figure this out and go amongst the judges. to see what can come out of this. Let's stop there. That's verse 8. Let's see. 9, 15. All right. 1 second here. All right. So, all right. Let's get verses, Exodus chapter 22, verses 9 all the way through 15. Let's keep it moving, all right? Exodus chapter 22, verse 9. Al, Kol, the bar, Pashai, Al, Shawar, Al, Kamawar, Al, Shah, Al, Shalama, Al, Kol, Abadah, Ashar, Yamar, Kaya, Hawa'ah, Zah, I, Ha'alahayim, Yaba'ah, Dabar, Shanayim, Ashar, Yarasha'ayim, Alahayim, Yashalam, Shanyam, Shanayim, Laraiwa, verse 10, Kaya, Yathan, Ayash, Al, Ra'aiwa, Kamawar, Iwa, Shawar, Awa, Shah, Wakal, Bahama, Lashamar, Wamath, Awa, Nashabar, Awa, Nashabah, Ayan, Ra'ah, verse 11, Shabayah, Yahweh, Tahaya, Bayan, Shanayim, La'ah, Shalak, Yatwa, Bamalakath, Ra'aiwa, Walakwak, Ba'alyawa, Wala'ah, Yashalam, verse 12, Wa'am, Ganab, Yaganab, Ma'aimwa, Yashalam, Laba'alyawa, verse 13, Tarak, Yatarak, Yaba'awa, I, Hatarapah, La'ah, Yashalam, verse 14, Wakaya, Yasha'al, Ayash, Ma'aim, Ra'aiwa, Wanashabar, Awa, Math, Ba'alyawa, Ayan, Ainwa, Shalom, Yashalom, verse 15, last verse, Ba'alya, Ba'alyawa, Ainwa, La'ah, Yashalom, Shakayar, Hawa'ah, Ba'ah, Bashakarwa. And that's it on that. Clap it up. All right, let's get back to it. Exodus chapter 22, verse 9. For all manner of trespass, whether it be for an ox, for ass, for sheep, for raiment, or for any manner of lost thing, which another challenges to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor. So once this goes into the hands of the judge, right? Because what's going to happen is this, right? You give your valuables to someone that you trusted, that you were very sure that they were going to be able to hold down, keep safe, nothing was going to happen. But a thief comes and steals their valuables that you entrusted to this person, you may feel some type of way. Most likely. Precisely. You are going to be upset, angry, because you trusted this person. Although they didn't steal it, but it happened anyway. So you take this to court, and the judge, whoever the judge condemns in this situation, is going to have to pay double of what was lost. All right? Now, you may say, like, okay, well, because you're taking this person to court, because your stuff was stolen, and things were broken in their place, I mean, hey, actually, although your stuff was stolen, you got to pay this person. There are situations where it may be the other way around, but you got to look at all the facts and all the details in order to know what the matter is and why the judge decided on what they decided in the first place. All right? I mean, in some people's mind, you're thinking like, well, maybe the person who got all their stuff stolen should be the one that should, receive all the restitution. In some cases, yes, absolutely. But once again, everything has to be looked at as far as the matter. You have to look at and dissect and analyze every single detail of that situation before you speak your piece and make a final decision, make a final judgment. That's why, judges have to, go days and days to look into a matter, as far as a court case. You can't just, some situations are plain and simple, and there are some that you actually got to look into that requires more attention and focus in order to make a proper, logical, and practical decision. All right? Like, for example, in the ISUK, there are councils that are being held all the time. And matters have to be looked at, and it can take some time. That matter may not, be fixed that same day. If you have that council, you may need a second or third council just to gather all the information. Maybe somebody didn't come in for court. Maybe somebody didn't come in for that conversation. Maybe the witness wasn't there. So there are so many things that come into play when it comes to a judge making a matter. I'm sorry, a judge actually making a judgment on that matter. All right. Excuse me. All right. So verse 10, if a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass or an ox or a sheep or any beast to keep, and it die or be hurt or driven away, no man seeing it. Verse 11, then shall an oath of the Lord be between them both, that he have not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good. Verse 12, and if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. So, once again, if a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass, so if one man gives or gifts another man an animal or a beast, and it dies, right? There shall be an oath between, an oath of the Lord be between them both, meaning that they have to make a contract and an agreement about these animals of what was given. But here's the flip side. That he hath not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. Right? Let me see something. And if it was let him bring it for it is, he shall not make good that which was torn. And if a man borrow and it be hurt, without the owner thereof being not with it, he shall surely make it good. Okay, hold on. Salaki. Let me see something. I'm just going to read the whole thing because it's all saying the same thing. I'm just going to reiterate it. So, verse 13. If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn. And if a man borrow out of his neighbor, and it be hurt or die, the owner thereof being not with it, he shall surely make it good. Verse 15. But if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good. And if it be in higher thing, it came for his hire. So once again, so in this contract, if this contract is broken in any fashion or form or any way, and also too, if there's any foul play, then of course some restitution is going to have to come about. And also too, when you think about the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, those are a contract, an oath between the Lord. When you get that oil poured on your head, and you get that Hebrew name, what you are saying is that I have an oath with the Lord, and if I break this oath, I mean, you are going to suffer. All right, and restitution is you suffering. When somebody lose something that you take, you have to lose something. And when it comes to the Lord, when you break an oath of the Lord, man, you can lose a lot of things. And sometimes at the end of it, it could be your life. When you serve the Lord, you create that oath, man, and you break it, you are going to lose a lot of things. I can't tell you exactly what it is because everyone's situation is going to be different. The Most High, make you suffer, and he chastises you in ways that only he knows how to do it. The Most High, he is the only one that can let you know what's going to happen. All right, he's the one that's going to show you. A prophet or priest can definitely, let you know, like, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. But I mean, the Most High is the one that decides what happens to you. All right, based on what you've done, what you have not done, so on and so forth. So once again, restitution is really the key word in today's topic. All right, it's like, all right, that was the last verse on 15. Let's see. Okay, we are getting there. All right. So let me see. All right, let's get back to it. All right. Let's get back to the Hebrew. This is Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. All right. Wakaya. Yapatha. Ayash. Batawala. Ashar. La'ah. Arashah. Washakah. Aimah. Mahar. Yamaharna. Lawa. La'ashah. Verse 17. Mayan. It's like Ma'an. Yama'an. Abaya. Lathatha. Lawa. Kasa. Yashaqua. Kamahar. Good night. Habata Walath, verse 18. Makashapa La'a Takaya, verse 19. Kol Shakab Al, so like Ain. Bahama Mawat Yawamath, verse 20. Zabak La'a Laham Yakari, it's like Yakaram Balathia La Yahawa Labadwa, verse 21. Wagar La'a Tawana Wala'a. So like it. The la katazawan. So like the la katazanwa. That's right. Kaya. Garyam. Hayayatham. Barataza. Batazarian. Verse 22, last verse. Call. Almanah. So like this one right here, tongue twister. Wayathawam. There we go. La'a. Dayan. That's like Dayawan. The Aina one. That's it on that. Clap it up. That one was actually a little shorter than I expected, but most high in Christ, I ain't complaining on that part. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. I love this precept because I haven't seen it in a while. This is scriptures about, or this scripture in particular is about marriage, all right? Courting, so to speak. So, and if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. So this is sex being marriage, all right? Marriage is not a piece of paper, which is a marriage license, because a marriage license is only truly a business license. Because technically, in America, if you are with a person for 7 years or more, you're technically married to that person, right? It's what they say. But a marriage license is a contract. That's why money is involved, and that's why the courts are involved as well. Okay? Because you may want to ask yourself, right? Because marriage is supposed to be until you die. When sex becomes marriage, we barely speak about divorce. Divorce is not, okay, she stabbed me, she cut me, she talked ish about my mama, I want to divorce her. We're not on good terms, I want to divorce her. That's not a thing in the Bible as far as God's culture. Now, however, the only way that you can get divorced is if that woman decides to sleep with a man that is not you. So if she sleeps with somebody else that is not you, she has poured on you. That's not your woman. She has divorced you. And you do not touch her ever again. If you touch her, that not only did you sin, you got somebody else's woman back in your bed. I mean, back, okay, yeah. That's not your woman anymore, but you wifed her again because you felt for her, you forgave her, this, that, and the third. You can forgive a whore, but just don't allow her back in your bed. Once that woman has whored on you, do not bring her back into your bed because that's a sin. And that's in the Bible as well. I'm not sure if it's in this chapter, but it definitely talks about it, I believe, in Deuteronomy, if I'm not mistaken. All right, which is also Moses. But anyway, also to you sisters out there, the only way that you may be divorced from that man is if he throws you away. If he says, I want nothing to do with you, you are not my woman anymore, I don't want to have sex with you, don't call me, don't text me, don't contact me, and he just completely just abandons you. And of course, this has to be proven. You can't just say it. It has to be proven by, the courts. And when I say the courts, meaning the judges of this matter, and it has been proven so, then y'all are divorced. That's not your husband anymore. And you have not slept with anybody else, and you was in the right the entire time, that's not your husband anymore. All right? But of course, someone has to determine that. Not just you. There has to be facts. There has to be a jury. There has to be witnesses. There has to be some evidence that shows and proves that. Okay? And it's called counsel. All right, so if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, so enticing somebody is, getting their attention, spin game, okay? Like, and most times, how you got that woman that you are with today is by enticing her. Something that you said, something about you, entice them to, want to be with you. So when you entice a maid, a woman that is not betrothed, meaning a woman that is not dealing with anybody, okay? That's the key. You want to entice a woman that is not taken. You want to entice a woman that is available, all right? Available in the sense of she's not dealing with anybody. She has no man. She ain't talking to everybody. She's not in everybody's DMs. She's not in everybody's face. She's not married, so on and so forth. You want to entice that type of woman who is available and not taken by any other man. Okay? And if any man or if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. That sex is marriage. Sex is marriage. So if you lie with this woman, you are saying that this is your wife. That's exactly what's happening. Now, marriage is very intimate, not just sexually, but in every way possible. Marriage is very intimate, intentional. Okay? When you lie with that woman, it's very intentional. This is your person for the rest of your life. That's your person. Okay? Y'all are not boyfriend and girlfriend. Y'all are husband and wife. Y'all are one. Y'all are twined, which means y'all are one. Y'all are together. Okay? It's a word that they use. It's not consolidate. It's what is that word where you make it solid? Man, what is the word? It's not consummate. Is it consummate? Let me see. Consummate. There we go. Yeah, consummate. So when you have sex with somebody, we have intercourse with somebody, that is your wife. That is your husband. You are, that like sex is the thing that consummates a relationship. Okay? Which means that y'all are together. All right? So sex is marriage, and sex is the thing that consummates to show and prove that y'all two are together. Y'all are with each other. Y'all are married. All right? Let's keep going. Verse 17. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. Now, the word virgin just means a woman of young marriageable age. Any woman can be of young, so young marriageable age is not talking about an actual age. Okay? It's talking about a woman who has, passed her flower. And when it talks about passing her flower, It's not speaking about your period as well. You brothers and sisters out there who teach, especially you fake Israelites, who teach that passing the flower of your age is speaking about your period. A woman's period is absolutely incorrect. All right, it's more to that, because there are young women, all right, young girls who have periods at between the age of 9, 11, 12. They don't need to know about sex at all. They need to stay in a child's place and know what it means, enjoy what it means to be a child. All right. So that lets you know it's not talking about that whatsoever. Okay. And there are Israelite groups out there that are not the IHBK, that are not affiliated with the IHBK, if I may add, that teach that, young marriageable age is like, around 9, 10, 11, 12, and, past the flower of their age, and they're young virgins. No. If you teach that, you are a pedophile, and you need to be behind bars and away from everyone's children. Any woman can be of young marriageable age, in a sense, right? Like older women in their 40s and 50s can be a young marriageable age. Okay, so like when I say everybody, it's like not everybody, but the spirit of it is just to let you know that a woman that's ready to be a wife, a 12-year-old is not ready to be a wife. She is a child. Okay, let her be a child. All right, it is talking about a woman that is ready to be married, a virgin. A virgin is not someone that has never had sex. It is a woman that is ready to be married. All right, sex is marriage. Shalom. All right. Now, if her father utterly refused to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgin. So, in order to get this man's daughter, he has put so much time, blood, sweat, and tears to building his daughter to be the most glorious and honorable woman to whomever man that she's given. You have to pay for that. Now, a lot of people may feel offended by that. Like, wait, why do I have to pay money for a woman? I mean, it's not far-fetched, because you are going to have to pay out of pocket for this woman anyway. But you are giving this man what he is owed, because he has put in a lot of time to build this woman up to be who she is today. And it's the same thing in the ISUPK. In the ISUPK, man, you may have to pay a dowry 9 times out of 10 for this sister, in the ISUPK, because Commander Junior Hana has put in work and time and blood and sweat and tears to fix this sister who was once damaged, to make her as beautiful as she is today. Because at first she was filthy. She was not a woman that was tender and delicate and had her mouth closed. She was a woman that was in the world who, would be ready to pop off, to fight, to argue, to gossip. Now she's a woman who's very sisterly, who's not in every man's face, who's not sleeping around with any and everybody, who's not a part of the LGBT community, who's not a whore, who's not a drug addict. So yes, you got to pay for that. Absolutely. You got to pay a dowry. That's what you have to do. For one of Commander Jerry Yohana's daughters, yes, absolutely. All right. Verse 18, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Oui. A witch or a warlock is those that sell drugs, man. Someone who sells drugs, a witch. Someone who casts spells. Someone who has you under the influence. That's a witch. All right? Someone who creates a concoction that gets you out of your element. That's a witch. And drug dealers are witches. The things that they sell to you that have you out of your mind, have you have out of body experiences, and so to speak, however you want to say it. Those are witches. Those that cook that dope on that on that stove. All those overdoses that happen, that all those things that are being sold to you, those are witches and warlocks, man. All right, it's not talking about somebody with a broomstick that's flying around town on Halloween night. It's not talking about that. A witch is someone who, I mean, I just mentioned, once again, a drug dealer. Someone who creates a concoction that causes you to not be yourself. All right? And that's just a simple term, but I'm just kind of speeding past this just for time's sake. But I can get into that a whole different class. Verse 19, whosoever lieth with the beast shall surely be put to death. That's talking about bestiality. If you decide to lay down with a damn animal, you are a disgusting piece of garbage. You are going to surely die. Whosoever lieth with the beast shall surely be put to death. Verse 20, he that sacrifices unto any god, save unto the Lord only, he shall be utterly destroyed. So if you decide to sacrifice or serve any other god that is not the Most High, Yahweh, then what's going to happen is you are going to be destroyed. Now, this is the book, Exodus, Genesis, all the first 5 books of Moses are going to tell you who you should and should not serve. And it's going to reiterate that so many times because Israel is a hard-headed people and stiff-necked. And we don't know, we do know, but we continue to go against the Most High's words, and we find out in our mistakes why we should serve the Lord and why we should not have done what we done. And the Most High destroys us time and time again. Verse 21, thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Now, these are rules. These are rules that these are rules that the brother Moses is giving out. Look, do not oppress or vex a stranger, because you have been a stranger in somebody else's land, which is Egypt, which we are in right now in the book of Exodus. Verse 22, ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. They shall always be protected and never afflicted or oppressed. The Bible says that you have to defend the father and fatherless, defend the needy and those that are of need, of any and all things. Because Black and Hispanic Native Indian people, we have lost and been stripped of everything: culture, language, our identity, everything. So the least you can do is not afflict those that are constantly afflicted by the oppressor. What sense does it make for us as a people to do that to one another when it's already happening to us? We should stick together and that be that. We should defend each other, not be defensive towards each other. All right? Moving on. Let me see. 23 all the way to 29. Okay, cool. All right, we getting there now. Let's go to Exodus chapter 22, verse 23, all the way to verse 29. Let's get it in Hebrew. All right. Exodus chapter 22, verse 23. Aina. Thaina. Athwa. Yeah, that's right. Kaya. Salaki. Taza'ak. Yataza'ak. Auya. Shemai. Ashemai. There we go. Salaki. Taza'akwakwa. Verse 24. Wakara. Apia. Salakia. Salakia. Waharagathia.
Athakam. Yeah, Athakam. Bakarai. Wahaya. Nashiakam. Alamanawath. Wabanyakam. Watamayam. Verse 25. Kasab. Talawa. Ath. Anya. Ath. Ha'anya. Aimak. La'a. Tahaya. Lawa. Kanasa. La'a. Salaki. Tasha Yamawan. Salaki. I'm saying that right. Tasha Yamawan. Ayawa. Nashak. Verse 26. Kabal. Takabal. Shalamath. Shalamath. Ra'aik. I. Ba'a. Hashamash. That's your Banua. No, that's your the Shah Banua. Lawa. Verse 27. Kaya. Hawa'a. Basawatha. Oh, sorry. Kasawatha. All right. Kasawathawa. Labada. Hawa'a. Shamalakwa. La'arwa. Vama. Yashaka. Wahaya. Kaya. Yasazaka. Auya. Washamaythya. Kaya. Hold on, what the slide here? So like this is a little tongue twister. Kanawam, Anya, verse 28. Alahayim, La'a, Taqwala, Wanashaya, Bayamak, La'a, Ta'ar, verse 29, last verse. Malathak, Slut, Malathak. Select it. What the mic. Why the mic? La'a, Dakar, Bakawar, Banyak, Tathan, Laya, and that's it on that. Let's wrap it up. All right, we almost done here. All right, so this Exodus chapter 22, verse 23. All right, if thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry. So this is Moses speaking, all right? He's saying, if I hear anything about someone being afflicted, okay, and they come to me, I will hear their cry. Verse 24, and my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. Good night. Good night. I mean, Moses was nothing to play with. All right? And these are the words of the Lord as well, man. These are the words of the Lord that are coming through out of the mouth of Moses. And Moses is speaking unto the house of Israel, explaining to them, this is what's going to happen. This is what the Lord said. Verse 25, if thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. So this is a law as well. Like, these are still laws in here, right? As an Israelite, as so-called Black, Hispanic, and Indians, we cannot have usury amongst each other. If we borrow or lend or loan any money to each other, there cannot be any usury. Usury is another word for interest. So if you ask for $10, there cannot be no usury for those $10. You can't bump it up like, all right, well, hey, now you owe me 20. You owe me 30. No. If you borrow $10, that $10 is going to be returned. If you loan $20, that $20 is going to be back. All right, paid back. There's no interest. Now, however, there is you can have usury when it comes to the other nations. That's different because those are not your people. And we should read up about that in a second here. All right. Verse 26, if thou at all take the neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down. So if you borrow someone's clothing, someone's valuable, you have to return it. All right. And it says, return it. Thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down. All right. So it's saying in a nutshell, whatever that you borrow, that raiment, which is clothing, you want to make sure that you give it back in a timely fashion. All right. Keep going. Verse 27, for that is his covering only. It is his raiment for his skin. Wherein shall he sleep? And it shall come to pass when he crieth unto me that I will hear, for I am gracious. Verse 28, thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Verse 29, thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits, and of thy liquors, the firstborn of thy sons shalt thou give unto me. Let me read that one more time. Verse 29. Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits, and thy liquors, the firstborn of thy sons shalt thou give unto me. All right. Meaning, don't be selfish. Whatever that you have, make sure that you give. Share. All right. Share in the sense of share with your people. Whatever there is that you have. Okay. And these laws are coming out because in this time in Egypt in captivity, Israel were not listening. Israel had many issues amongst each other, like we do to this very day. There are issues that we have that stem from every captivity, man. Every time I look into the Bible, I see what's happening today. I read these scriptures and I can have a clear understanding and mindset of what is happening right in front of me in my everyday life. What I see when I get on a bus, when I drive a car, when I watch TV, when I'm walking outside, when I'm having conversations and interactions with people. I see it every day as I study and look into these scriptures. No one's sharing. People are overcharging usury amongst each other. People are robbing each other. The list goes on. All the things that we read about today, people are, going to court over each other's animals. Valuables are being taken. People are wanting restitution. It happens every single day. And these laws are very important because without these laws, we will continue to be divided. And that's the point of this. The reason why we have these laws is to keep things in order. The Bible says that everything must be in decency and in order. And that's in order for that to be in decency, the laws and statutes and commandments have to be in place. It has to be embedded in your everyday life. Because if you don't have that, if you don't have a structure, then there's not going to be any order or decency. Everything's going to be all over the place. That's why we need this. All right. That's why there are laws in our everyday lives. It's no different than the Bible. Where do you think it came from? I mentioned that earlier. I digress. That's it on that part. All right. Let's get back to the Hebrew. 1, 2, 30, 5, all right, let's get to it. So, like, y'all, give me one more second here. Got to blow my nose. All right, Shalaki, y'all gotta bear with me, man. This damn sickness, boy. We're fighting it, going to war every damn day. All right, but you know we still gotta get this work of the Lord done. Okay, so ain't never gonna stop that for sure. All right, so Exodus chapter 22, verse 30. Kun, Taisha, La Sharak, La Tazanak, so like La Tazan, yeah, Shabayeth, Yum, Yahweh, Imwa, it's like Amwa. Oh, it's like Amawa. There we go. Amawa. Bayawam. Salaki. Hashaman. Salaki. Salaki. Hashamanwa. There we go. The Thunwa. Laya. Verse 31. Nashia, Kodash, Tahawayan, but Tahayawan, Laya, Wabashar, Bashada, Tarapa, La'a, Ta'akawa. It's like it. La Kala. That's Shalakwan. Akwa. Exodus chapter 23, verse 1. La'ah. Dasha'a. Shemai. Shawa'ah. Al. The Shah. Yadak. Ain. Rashai. Lahaya. I. Kamash. No. Kamas. Verse 2. La'ah. Tahaya. Akaria. Rabiam. Lara'ath. Wala'ah. Ta'aina. Al. Ra. Lanatab. Sorry, Lanatab. Akaria. Rabiam. Latab. So, Latab. Verse 3. Wadal. La'ah. Tahadar. Barayabwa. Verse 4, Kaya. Thapagai. Shawar. Ayabak. Awa. Where's that? Kamarwa. Thigh. Thigh. There we go. Hashad. Tashiyab Lawa. Verse 5. Kaya. Tara'a. Kamawar. Shanak. Rabataza. Takat. Mashawa. Mashawa. Wakaladaf. Wakalalaf. Mayazab. Lawab. Izab. Bayazab. Anwa. Oh, I think that was the last verse, right? Oh, yeah, that's the last verse on that one. All right, so after this, we got last 7 verses, and then we're done. Okay? All right, step it up on that part. All right. Okay. Some of these are pretty short. No sign in Christ. All right, let's get back to it. Let's finish this up. Exodus chapter 22, verse 30. Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dam. On the 8th day thou shalt give it me. Self-explanatory. Verse 31. And ye shall be holy men unto me, neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beast in the field. You shall cast it to the dogs. So if you have any beasts, any animals, right, and they are torn apart from another animal, you should not eat it. You should give it to the dogs. Let them have it. Exodus chapter 23, verse 1. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand in the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. So do not bear false witness. Do not be a liar. Do not put yourself in a position where you are trying to, how can I say it? I'm trying to say it in the best way possible. Don't try to be a person who lies on somebody else's behalf. Don't try to be in someone's corner so much that you are going to say and do whatever to make them look good. All right. And when they are in a seat of judgment, because otherwise you are going to be found out. Okay. Don't be an unrighteous witness. Be upfront, be honest. Don't try to, don't dishonor yourself trying to honor somebody else, all right? Don't do that because it's not going to end well, okay? Just because someone is your friend, your family, so on and so forth, always be truthful and honest. Do not play games. Don't try to save somebody because at the end of the day, the Lord is going to find out and know everything, all right? I pray you understand. Verse 2, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Yeah, man. Follow the righteous. If you are going to be a follower, follow someone who's doing the right thing and not the wrong thing. Because those that tend to do the wrong thing, it doesn't end well. It never does. It may seem like they are on top of the world right now, today, but sooner or later they will fall deeper and deeper into that pit. All right, eventually. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Don't put stumbling blocks in front of people to the point where it knocks off their judgment. Just don't be a damn tyrant. Don't be a stumbling block. Don't be that thing that simply causes someone to have to think twice or think harder or second guess judgment, righteousness, justice. All right. And there are people that are good at that. They are good at, convincing you to do the wrong thing versus the right thing, convincing you that, you probably, I wouldn't do that. Just be careful. People are out here who will be in your ear to try to influence you to do the wrong thing, to make you think one way to where it's wicked. So like, y'all bear with me. Give me 1 second here. So like for that, y'all. So like a simple phone call, real quick. So yeah, like there are people out here who will really be in your ear, who will really be in your ear to try to influence you to do the wrong thing. And the thing is, you have to have your own mind in the sense of to know, is this righteous? Is this wise? You know what I mean? Like you got to be careful, man. You got to be very careful because there are people that are very emotional. There are people who have hatred and who simply don't like to follow orders and who don't like to follow the order of things in general. And so they have this, idea of what they should and should not do. When you should not lean onto your own understanding. Of course, have your own mind, absolutely. You are not a robot. But at the same time, be practical about what you think and what you do. All right. And and the thing is this though, everything will always come into light. All right. Everything will always come into light. And always ask questions. If you believe that something ain't right, always ask questions. It doesn't hurt at all. Ask questions. All right. Verse 3. Neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause. Right. All right. You want to be careful what you do and how you do it. All right. Be careful because people are watching. All right. And be careful what you say out of your mouth. Verse 4. If thou meet thine enemy's ox or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again. Yeah. So, if you see that this person's animal is, just going on its way, it's not kept in its rightful place, bring that animal back to his home, to the owner. All right. Verse 5. If thou see the ass of him that hateth thee lying under his burden, and what is forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him. All right. So if you see this animal of your enemy that you are beefing with, make sure that you help that brother out, that sister out, that you have issues with. It's the right thing to do. Ain't nothing wrong with being cordial. You don't have to be the bestest friends with any and everybody within your nation. But at least have some respect, have some decorum about it. Be a man, be a woman about it. Show that you have maturity of yourself. And that's what Moses is speaking about. So we are going to read the last 7, which is Exodus chapter 23, verses 6 through 12, and then we out of here, all right? But y'all bear with me real quick. Give me 1 second here. Let me see. Y'all bear with me. Let me see something real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. I gotta send out a text real quick. Let's see. All right, let's get to it, okay? All right, let's get to it. All right. All right, Exodus chapter 23, verse 6. La'ah. The ta. Mashapat. Abayanak. Barayabwa. Verse 7. Madabar. Shaquar. Tharakat. Wanakia. Wanakia. Yatazadak. Ow. Thahakarad. No, it's like Thaharad. Kaya. La'ah. Atazadak. Rashai. Verse 8. Washakai. La'ah. The quack. Kaya. Hashakai. Ya'aiwar. Pukwakim. Waya salak. Waya salak. Dabaria. Tazadakim. Verse 9. Wagar. La'ah. Talakataza. Watham. Wadayatham. Af. Napash. Hagar. Kaya. Garian. Hayatham. Barataza. Matazarian. Verse 10. Washasha. Shanaim. Tazarai. Aratazak. So like, yeah. Well, Asapah. Tabawa. Verse 11. Wahashabayeth. Tashamatana. Let me see something. Oh yeah, okay. Salakia of when that's Salakia, when that's Salakia, good night. When that's Tasha. Oh, so here we go. What when that's like when that's Tasha. When that's Tasha, here we go. Wa Koya. It's like Waya Kowa. Abayanwa. It's like Abayanya. Aimak. Waya Tharam. Bakor. Kayath. Hashadah. Khan. Bayashah. Lakaramak. Lazayatha. Verse 12. Shashah. Yum. Aisha. Mashiach. Yahweh, Hashabayah, Hashabayah, Hashabayah. There we go. Hashabath, Lamine. Yanawak, Shawarak, Wakamarak, yeah, Wayanapash, Bun, Amathak, Wahagar, verse 13. Oh, Slack, that was it on that thing. Hold on. Oh, yeah, that was it on that. Slack, clap it up. All right. I almost read a little past. All right, so we are at the end. So let's go ahead and finish out the last 7. Exodus chapter 23, verse 6. Thou shalt not rest the judgment of thy poor and his cause. Verse 7. Keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not, for I will not justify the wicked. So once again, this is all about protecting those that are innocent, protecting those that are, righteous. So protect them from all the false matters. Protect them from any and everybody that's going to corrupt them. Is what it's saying. Okay. All right. Verse 8. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift bindeth. Oh, so like it. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise, and perverteth the words of the righteous. Once again, be careful, man. People will try to give you ultimatum, try to give you some type of some type of gift to make it seem like everything is fine, everything is okay, there's nothing you have to worry about. You should always be on guard. Always pay attention to what somebody says and what they are doing. All right? Because last thing that you want to do is find yourself caught up in a crossfire of any BS. All right? Now, the Bible does say to try every man's spirit to see if they are according to God. So I'm paraphrasing. Try every man's spirit to see if they are, according to God. All right? Because every time someone presents themselves, you got to watch what people say and do, because some people may say something and you may be thinking like, wait, what? Wait. Can you say that again? Because it almost sounds like, you sound like you're out of the spirit. You don't sound like a brother that usually is righteous or as wise. Now you're saying things that kind of go against what we teach and what we practice and what we live, right? So you gotta be mindful, because sometimes people can have demons on them, and that's the thing. And you gotta check it every single time. And even within yourself, you gotta check it. You gotta check the way you think, the way you move, the way you say things. You gotta be mindful and be very, very careful. The Bible speaks about how you have to bridle your tongue. All right, bridle your tongue just means you have to control it. Okay. All right, so verse 9, also thou shalt not oppress a stranger, for ye know the heart of a stranger, seeing ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Moses is reiterating that again. Don't oppress nobody because they are an outsider. They are not like you. You know what I mean? Or one of your enemies within your nation that may be a stranger to you. Don't do that, man. Okay, because you are a stranger in someone else's land. So it's like, what are we doing? Verse 10, in 6 years thou shalt sow thy land, and shalt gather in the fruits thereof. Verse 11, but the 7th year thou shalt let it rest and lie still, that the poor of thy people may eat, and what they leave the beasts of the field shall eat. In like manner thou shalt deal with the vineyard, deal with thy vineyard. In like manner thou shalt deal with thy vineyard and with thy olive yard. All right. So I'm keep going. 6 days thou shalt do thy work, and On the seventh day thou shalt rest, that thine ox and thine ass may rest, and the son of thy handmaid and the stranger may be refreshed. Okay, so part of that is also too part of the Feast of First Fruits, which is actually, actually tomorrow as well, right? It's the first day, but we only celebrate the first Feast of First Fruits on the 50th day, which comes 50 days later, right? So tomorrow is the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the closing. But at sundown, it's going to be the end of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, but the beginning of the Feast of First Fruits, which is the first day. But once again, we don't celebrate the first day of the Feast of First Fruits until the very 50th day, which you will see in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. But verse 11, what I love about this is that it gives you, it's showing love and brotherhood. It shows you how we have the food program today. Anything that we have left over, man, we gather it up, make sure it's the best of the food or the products, the clothing, the food, and we give it out to the people, man. And whatever is left, we just sit it right there for any and everybody to come and get. So now, as far as the vineyards, the crops and the harvest and stuff like that, you give a portion to the people, man, who are less fortunate. And whatever is left to the animals. You even feeding the animals, man, that are not even yours. And this is the laws and other laws that were talked about that Moses had presented unto the nation of Israel in the place of Egypt where we were, enslaved at that time. Okay, so that's that on that. Next week we are going to get into a little bit more things concerning feast and the land as well. All right. So with that being said, Imagine, which means to stand. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So, Imagine, which means to stand. Upon your Hakudam, which means to face the east. Okay. So like, let me see something real quick. Oh, let me too loud. All right. All right. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shakah, Yahweh, Lakbaka, Lava'awa, Kazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barak, Zakawa, Hayah, Mashamayim, Natalana, Latam, Call your one, Wasalakana, Tawaknawa, Kasalaknawa, Tawaknawa, Wala'a, Taba'anawa, Balasayawan, Ball, Hawashinawa, Mayan, Bride, Kayah, Lakah, Hamalakwa, Ba'ala, Bataparak, La'alamin, Aman. The Lord's Prayer in English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever, so be it. Amen. The power in the Hebrew. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bakashah, Nathalanah, the cock, Larpa'a, Karmakala, the Karmanawa, the cock, Lasahar, Hamakazari, the cock, the Hakim, Hamaki, the cock, Arakawat, Hatama'ala, the Darshan, by Hashem Yahushai, the Wada Aman, the power in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits. God. To cast them out in the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Barak Anahu, Waya Sha'ala, Wahabayah Saparian, Barak Bashem Yahushua, Tawada Aman. Bless Israel in the Hebrew, in the English. What we just said was, Lord, in the name of Yahushua, bless us and Yasha'ala in the school. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'a, Ayanya, Alharia, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Azaria, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Asha, Shemayim, Waratasa, Ayathan, Umawat, Rugoka, Ayanawam, Yashamarka, Hanala, Ayanawam, Wala'a, Yashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazarka, Ayat, Yayaka, Yawamam, Hashamas, Ayakaka, Wayara, Walayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makar Rai, Yashamar, Akapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaatka, Wabawatka, Mayata, Wa'ai, Awalam. Psalms 121. In the English, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'Allah shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. All right. Shalaki. Psalms 83 in Hebrew. Alahayim, Adami Alaka, Atakarach, Alta Shaqua, Al Kayahana, Awadika, Yahamu Yawan, Ra'aj, Al Amrika, Yarayawa, Sawadah, Bayataya Tasa, Altas of Kuwanyaka, Amara, Lakawa, Nakakidan, Magoya, Walaaya Zakar, Shamya Sha'ala, Ivada, Kaya, Nawai Tasa, Laba, Yakadwa, Awyaka, Barayah, Yakarakwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Baya Shama Alayam, Mawa Abu, Garium, the Paul, one, Wamalak, Palashas, I'm Yashabia, Tazawar, Gam Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarwa, Lavanya Lawat, Salah, Ashalaham, Tabadia, Kasiyasa Ra'ah, Kayabi, Badakor, Koyashwan, Nashimatwa, Bayanda Aura, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayathawa, Nana Yamawa Kaira, Kazabak, Katazor Manai, Karnasi Kamba, Ashur, Amara, Narasha, Lanawa, Af, Naawa, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayathamu, Kagogala, Kagwash, the Panira Waka, Kaash, the Bari Ira, Wakalaba, Dalahat, Harim, Khan, Dargatma, Vasarika, Wabasa Wapaka, Dalaham, Malaa, Panyaham, Balawan, Wayabakwashua, Shika, Yahweh, Yabashua, Wayabahoa, Ayai, Wayakapara, Waya Abadma, Waya Daiwa, Kaya Atha, Shaka, Yahweh, Labaka, all Yawan, Akaharatisa. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make us remote, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off for being a nation, that the name of Yasha'Allah may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Israelites of Moab and Hagarim, Babal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre, Ashur also joined with them. They have hoped the children of Lot, Salah, doing to them as unto the Midianites, as a Sisera, as a Jabin, as the brook of Kisan, which bears at Endor. They became as dung for the earth, making the enormous like a rib, and like said, yea, are the princes as Zabah and as Zamuna, who said, let us take to ourselves the house of Yahweh and possession, O my power, make it like a wheel as a stubble before the wind, as the fire burns the wood, and as the flames of the mountains are fire. So persecute them by tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded in trouble forever, yea. Let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. All right. ISUK power structures. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. To the evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. To the evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter thy sanctuary. To the evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Fatimatazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, works of witchcraft,
NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any like people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, who try to stop us. Who try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues causing them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague hit the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh shine, Michael and Gabriel come down the flying saucers, punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause to be known by all that is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always, so be it. All right, star, which means to turn. All right. All right. Right. Salute for the brothers and the sisters. Start off with the men. Men Israel, my Shabbat. Imagine, Barak, Yahweh, Shemiah, Shabbat, Yasmatah. Courtesy salute for the sisters. Men Israel, my Shabbat. Imagine, Barak, Yahweh, Shemar, Alataba, Shemiah, Shai. Yasmatah. Class dismissed.